Now at 9, the FBI is investigating a deadly New Year's Day attack in New Orleans as a terrorist attack.
Along with the new year comes some new laws in Oklahoma. I'm Melissa Alexis, and I'll have more details on these new laws.
And in Oklahoma, a family hands over a beefy donation to several nonprofits.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Chaos on the streets of New Orleans' iconic Bourbon Street. A driver just after 3 in the morning crashed a pickup truck into a crowd of New Year's Day revelers. The incident now under investigation as a terrorist attack. And this is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. At least 15 are confirmed dead, with dozens more injured. The FBI confirms the driver as a 42-year-old American citizen who died after exchanging gunfire with responding police. Investigators recovered a handgun, an AR-style rifle, and an ISIS flag. Now, President Biden offered condolences to the victims' families today. President-elect Trump also weighed in, blaming illegal immigration for what he calls an act of pure evil. We'll have more on the investigation later in the show. A few new laws will be taking effect in Oklahoma this year. Some of the laws relate to health care and voting rights. KOM's Melissa Alexis explains how the new laws will affect Oklahomans.
With the new year comes some new laws in Oklahoma. Here's how one of these new laws will affect health insurance in Oklahoma. Corinne's law will require that health insurance plans cover fertility services like sperm and egg freezing for people going through cancer treatments. The Ensuring Transparency in Prior Authorizations Act also deals with health insurance. The law requires quick decisions on care, clear guidelines for denials and appeals, easy access to information about prior authorization, and protects ongoing care. The new Out-of-Network Ambulance Service Provider Act will set rules for how much you can be charged for an out-of-network ambulance ride. The payment is based on local government rates or a percentage of Medicare rates. Another law will allow some convicted felons the ability to vote. Some of the circumstances to be eligible include serving the full sentence, parole, or probation. Also, those who had a reduced charge, received a pardon, or commutation. Another new law expands workers' compensation beyond just physical injury for first responders, such as EMT and firefighters. It will now include mental health conditions like PTSD. Another new law in Oklahoma deals with taxes for infrastructure development projects. It makes more projects eligible for these tax credits or breaks, and it increases the amount of money available for infrastructure spending. And for that law, the maximum tax credit for a project is $6 million. I'm Melissa Alexis reporting.
And thanks, Melissa. For more information about new laws taking effect in Oklahoma, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a cold start of 2025. It could have been worse, but 41 for a high, a little bit below our average high. Started at 30, record high on the state, 75, set back in 2006. Most of us now lower 30s. We'll drop back into the upper 20s for overnight lows. We do have a few clouds which are starting to skirt in. So partly cloudy skies tonight. We have a weak wave that's going to track just to our north and to our east. What it's going to do for us is give us clouds and then cool us back down by the time we head into Friday. And of course, all eyes on this weekend, pretty strong storm system kicking out. So this is going to be Saturday afternoon. In our area, we're going to have a mix of rain, some freezing rain, some snow. Switching back over to all rain by Saturday night. So we're going to be breaking this down for you here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, Freeman Health System in Joplin welcomes its first baby of the new year. Aurora Cooper entered the world at 5:08 this morning, weighing 7 pounds, 7 ounces. And we hear her parents, Hannah Rourke and Hayden Cooper of Dunwig, are excited about the arrival of their tiny bundle of joy, but are very tired. Now, babies born in the new year and in the next 14 years will make up Generation Beta, the newest generation that experts predict will grow up with artificial intelligence in every aspect of their life. Well, several nonprofits in Northeast Oklahoma have received generous donations of ground beef thanks to one Bartlesville family. Nate Alleman says he always wanted to raise cattle, But little did he know that he would turn into feeding hundreds of families. Jaden Brannon has the story of this beefy donation.
The ground beef and cattle industry is not something Nate Alleman thought he'd get into, but it was something he wanted to try.
But we knew that it was going to be on a small enough scale that we weren't going to really make money from it. It wasn't going to be a profitable thing. We weren't doing it for profit for us.
With help from financial sponsors, Alleman bought 6 calves. For the last year and a half, he and his family have been raising them.
It's just one of those things that you've always wanted to do.
But now the Alleman's labor is feeding hundreds of people in northeast Oklahoma.
But knowing that we weren't going to make any money from it, I just came up with an idea to donate the beef.
Donating it to nonprofits like Mary Martha Outreach in Bartlesville.
It's so important. We couldn't operate without donors.
Misty Wishaw is the director of the nonprofit. She says this is the first time they've had a partnership like this.
Usually we have to buy our meat, or we get it from the food bank, or sometimes we get some from Walmart. So it was really exciting to get someone that wants to not only see our operation, but to contribute to it.
Contributing 250 pounds of ground beef to be given away to families in need.
Our families are under a different level of stress. We all have regular everyday stress, but their stresses sometimes are putting food on the table.
Alleviating stress by pairing Nate Alleman's dream with giving back to the community that started it.
Alleman says he and his family are taking a break from raising cattle during the winter months. He says if they do it again, they will invest in some equipment to help make the process a little more efficient. Well, coming up, we head to the friendly skies for a drone's eye view of this year's first hike at Crawford State Park. But first in Health Watch, new year, new energy. We visit with Joplin residents hitting the gym to work on their New Year's resolutions.
Chili's the best. Prove it at the Vita Nova Village Chili Cook-Off, January 8th.
16 Pro on us. No trade-in needed. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Many of us make resolutions heading into the new year to better ourselves, but we also find those resolutions are often abandoned after a few short weeks. Jeff Wagner has more on how to tackle the resolution of how to better your mental health.
Dave Johnson is on his way to ease his mind. Inside his home is a calming space to meditate. Johnson has anxiety, a disorder that intensified during the COVID-19 pandemic. He works in public health.
Being completely overwhelmed by work and family and just feeling like there wasn't any way out.
Molly Peterson is the director of adult programs for Minnesota's National Alliance on Mental Illness.
I don't think that enough people are saying, I really want to improve my mental well-being in the new year. They want to do better in their job, they want to do better on their weight.
But specifically focusing on mental health can be easy and attainable.
As you mentioned meditation, and that's a great one because it's literally forcing you to just kind of sit in the present moment and not have racing thoughts and negative self-talk.
Here's some tips to get started in the new year. Use an app, as they can guide beginners on how to meditate. Create a space in your home to designate as the meditation area. Set an attainable goal for how often you'll do it. Lastly, find an accountability partner, either someone to meditate with you or gently remind you to stay on track.
It gives me the option of choosing, do I want to continue following anxiety thoughts, or do I want to do something else?
Ultimately, his recipe to better manage it included medication, changing therapists, and making meditation a more integral part of his life. Jeff Wagner, CBS News, Minneapolis.
One of the most common New Year's resolutions is losing weight. Every Body Fitness in Joplin is starting people on that path with 4 high-energy classes during their New Year's New Energy event. Now, classes include what you see, pound or turn up, kickboxing, and step aerobics.
Whenever I first started, I wanted it more than I wanted other things. I wanted to be fit more than I wanted to stay at home. And I also found a group of girls that were already going, or a couple of girls already going, and I made really good friends with them, and they encouraged me to go.
Well, exercise is only one factor to improving your physical health. Health experts say you should diet appropriately as well. Well, up to 70% of people abandon their New Year's resolutions within months. So how can you keep yours? Experts say set smaller, realistic goals like exercising for just 10 minutes a day. Think positive. It makes a difference in how long you stick with a resolution. And be kind to yourself. Change is hard, so don't expect perfection. Well, U.S. officials are phasing out a leading decongestant found in a range of medications. So what should you use to treat nasal congestion? Experts say saline drops and rinses can help clear up your sinuses, and nasal steroids and medications including pseudoephedrine are also effective. Phenylephrine is set to be phased out next year after studies showed it was no more effective than a placebo. Well, a new proposed federal rule would make cosmetic companies take more steps to ensure their products are asbestos-free. The FDA proposal is aimed at makeup, baby powder, and personal care products containing talc. Talc can sometimes be cross-contaminated with asbestos, but recent FDA testing found no asbestos in popular cosmetics. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, Congress in question.
Will Speaker of the House Mike Johnson be able to keep his job this week, and will President-elect Trump be able to get his team confirmed through the Senate? I'm Doug Luzader in Washington. We'll have more on the look ahead into 2025 coming up.
A skateboarder looks to reshape skating.
Entertainment complex, home of Connect-A-Culture and Spiva Center for the Arts.
Well, it turned out to be a chilly Wednesday, but a good Wednesday for us today. We had quite a bit of sunshine across the region. Great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam, of course. We are looking downtown Joplin. All right, let's go outside. So we have seen some clouds starting to increase in our western counties. We are going to get a little tick up of clouds throughout the overnight hours tonight. We have a weak wave that is going to pass to our north. This is going to produce some snow across south central parts of Iowa, northern parts of Missouri. All it's going to do for us, a few clouds, and then behind that system, it will cool us back down a bit as we go into Friday. And then our next storm system, which rolls in this weekend, starting to organize off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. All right, so let's go through the next couple days. Then we'll jump into the weekend. For us, by morning, mainly sitting upper 20s to near 30 degrees. Partly cloudy skies. Warmer day, a little windy, mid 40s by noon. I think most of us, 48 Parsons, 50 Miami, 47 Lamar, so looking a little bit better. Now, cold front drops through tomorrow night. We start to clear out by Friday morning, so a colder start on Friday down into the mid 20s, and then only going up into lower 40s Friday afternoon. Very similar to what we did see today. All right, here's your day planner. 32 to start, 45 by noon. High temp right around 49 or 50 degrees. Let's move into the weekend. A lot of questions here. By tomorrow, as this storm system gets into the Pacific Northwest, our data will start to get better. If this system shifts a little farther north, we get all rain. If it shifts a little farther south, we get all ice and snow. We're probably going to fall somewhere in between. As of now, and again, this is going to be changing, freezing rain and sleet picking up Saturday afternoon, mainly north of Joplin. Rain increasing in the southern half of the region. As warmer air pumps into this system, a cold rain for about half of us, but freezing rain in our northern counties. Again, we got to see, does this shift up here or does this shift down here over the next couple days, or stay just how it is right now? Into Sunday morning, southern half rain, northern half sleet and snow. As the colder air filters in behind it, everybody should get a little quick dose of sleet and snow, but the heaviest amounts by far are going to stay to our north. So the biggest accumulations with this system, snow-wise, along the I-70 corridor. However, as we look at ice accumulations, southeastern Kansas into southwestern Missouri, and there could be some decent amounts of ice. So a lot to watch. Next couple days, we'll see how this shifts, if it goes north or south. All right, 49 on Thursday, 42 on Friday, mid 30s, mid to upper 30s over the weekend with rain, freezing rain, and snow, depending on where you live, and then turning sharply colder on Monday and Tuesday.
All right, a little chilly, but some might say these chilly temperatures are perfect for a hike in southeast Kansas. KOAM photojournalist Ty Parks takes us for a drone's eye view of the first day of the new year out at Crawford State Park.
Just gets people outside first day of the year, lets them come out, enjoy nature, just start the new year off right. And obviously we have a lot of people here who get to see friends we haven't seen for a while and just enjoy the outdoors. So first day hike started in 2012. It's a statewide, every Kansas State park hosts first day hike.
I liked it because you can get exercise and it's like you get to see nature and stuff around you. And it's good to get up, and to me it means like I need to get more exercise this year because last year I didn't do much exercise, so this year I want to get more exercise and better. It's kind of like you get to experience it with your friends, and you know that because they might have fun with it too.
Just, we're busy during the summertime. Just let them know that, it's nice to come out here during the winter, even when it's cold. It's still a beautiful place to be. We have a lot of trails to enjoy. We put a lot of work into them this year, and we hope people see the hard work we put into the place all year round.
Well, coming up, a new year, new coffee prices.
That morning cup of coffee is going to cost more in the new year. I'm Michael George, and I'll tell you why.
We're here to help. We are the 4 States Amputee Network.
Village Chili Cook-Off. Hero Fund USA and KOAM News Now supporting the 4 states' first responders.
Well, the new year is starting with some bad news for millions of Americans. Coffee is likely going to get more expensive. Michael George explains.
Customers have been coming to Nicholas Coffee Company in Pittsburgh for more than a century, and currently the store is facing a modern challenge: the soaring price of coffee beans.
In the last decade, this is the highest it's been.
Third-generation owner Jordan Nicholas has always seen fluctuations, but these days some coffee commodities are trading around 70% higher than a year ago. That's because supplies are down after severe drought killed plants in Brazil and Vietnam.
This is a little unprecedented territory right now.
And it's not just the lack of supply that's driving prices.
You're talking about wage prices going up. You're talking about fuel prices that have gone up, transportation that's gone up. It's really a whole bunch of combination of things that are actually impacting the price of coffee.
The price many consumers pay for coffee is up about 11% from a year ago, and that daily cup is expected to get more expensive. The companies behind brands like Folgers, Dunkin' Donuts at-home coffee, and Nespresso have already announced price increases, and others could follow suit.
We'll start to see some of that impact in January. The prices will go up, and it's usually kind of when most companies will increase prices.
Nicholas is trying to keep prices in check.
Try to absorb as much as we can. May not pass on the whole amount of that.
That's because he wants customers to keep coming through the door. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Up next, a touch of chill in the air offers the perfect weather for a game of touch football in Webb City's King Jack Park today. We take you there.
It takes a great team to win a race, and it takes a great community coming together to help.
And associates committed to community service.
Well, King Jack Park in Webb City provided the gridiron battlefield for a New Year's Day game of touch football. The event was hosted by the King Jack Touch Football Group and Rodney Rambo, pastor at the Rooted Church in Southwest Missouri. For the pastor, touch football provides a fun and healthy way to kick off the new year.
Touch football or any kind of activity like this is just a fun way to stay active, start the year off in a healthy way, but in a way that's easily motivating with a little competition involved.
King Jack Touch Football plays 1 to 2 Saturdays a month at the soccer fields at King Jack Park. Well, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. At least 15 people killed and dozens more injured when a vehicle drove into a crowd on New Orleans' famed Bourbon Street in the first hours of New Year's Day. We're going to have the latest on the investigation. Plus, in Washington, the Speaker of the House is hoping his New Year's resolution sticks and he gets to keep his job into the new year.
From Denver Mattress.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The death toll in today's deadly New Orleans attack is rising to at least 15. This as authorities who identify the suspect say he may not have acted alone. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor is in New Orleans with the latest.
At least 15 people are dead and dozens wounded. The FBI is calling this an act of terror, and they've identified the suspect as Shamsuddin Jabbar, an Army veteran from Texas. Chaos on the streets of New Orleans' iconic Bourbon Street. A driver just after 3 in the morning crashing his pickup truck into a crowd of New Year's Day revelers.
This man was trying to run over as many people as he possibly could.
Unthinkable. No one, and I mean no one, expects to wake up to New Year's this way.
The FBI investigating the incident as an act of terrorism, confirming the driver, a 42-year-old American citizen, died after exchanging gunfire with responding police. Investigators have recovered a handgun, an AR-style rifle, and an ISIS flag, as questions mount over the suspect's motive.
Was this a lone wolf, or was he acting in concert with others?
President Biden offering condolences to the victims' families.
The reaction was one of anger and frustration.
We will do everything that it takes to render real justice.
Meanwhile, officials announcing Wednesday night's Sugar Bowl to be held at the Superdome will now be delayed a day.
It's in the best interest of everybody and public safety that we postpone the game for 24 hours.
Well, federal authorities are also investigating whether there is a link between the New Orleans attack and a deadly blast outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas today. President Biden told reporters there's nothing to report, but that they're looking into a possible connection. Well, funeral plans are underway for the late President Jimmy Carter, who will be honored with ceremonies spanning more than a week. Starting this weekend, people can pay their respects at the Carter Presidential Center in Atlanta. On Tuesday, Carter's remains will be flown to Washington, where he will lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda. His state funeral is set for Wednesday, January 9th at the Washington National Cathedral. Preparations for the late president's funeral started not long after he was sworn in as president in 1977.
State funeral is our way, our nation's way, of rendering its last honor to the commander-in-chief. And the military takes it very serious, of course, because it's a no-fail mission. Probably embodies maybe 600-700 people. So you're pulling that many people offline every 3 months in order to make sure that when the day comes, that we're ready for that.
President Biden has declared January 9th a national day of mourning. The nation's 39th president will eventually be laid to rest in his hometown of Plains, Georgia. In Washington, the Speaker of the House is hoping his New Year's resolution sticks. He's hoping to keep his job into the new year. Congress is just days away from selecting a leader. And as Doug Luzader reports from Washington, 2025 is already off to a dramatic start for both the House and the Senate.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go.
It was just about a month ago that Speaker of the House Mike Johnson was lighting the Capitol Christmas tree. Now the big question, will he be doing it again in 2025?
We have a mandate from the American people. Mike Johnson needs to be re-elected as Speaker of the House so that we can get to work.
But some Republicans are none too happy with Johnson, who himself won the gavel only after a protracted fight that exposed a deep fissure within the GOP ranks. And President-elect Trump is clearly pushing to resolve this quickly and champing at the bit to move forward on a legislative agenda.
I also think there's far less tolerance in our party right now than there was, say, in 2023 with a Democratic Senate and a Democratic president to mess around with the speakership fight. We're burning clock on his first 100 days, as you said, legislative priorities we could be getting underway.
When and if that issue gets resolved, you've got the other side of the Capitol to contend with. Republicans will control the Senate, but again, the margin is narrow, and there is plenty of work ahead. Trump's cabinet picks are hoping to hit the ground running in 2025 to win quick confirmations. Some will have bipartisan support, but others may have to survive narrow party line votes. Among the more controversial, Pete Hegseth for Defense, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for Health and Human Services, and Kash Patel to lead the FBI.
I think that there are some nominees that are people I think I can work with, but I also am deeply concerned about what I've heard Mr. Patel say in the past.
But either way, the landscape here is changing in 2025 from one end of Pennsylvania Avenue to the other. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast and later, making it count.
The list of resolutions may be long. I'm Chanley Painter with a look at strategies you can use to help make your goals last throughout the new year. Coming up.
Christmas clearance, Christmas clearance, Christmas arts.
Well, it turned out to be a chilly Wednesday, but a good Wednesday for us today. We had quite a bit of sunshine across the region. Great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam, of course. We are looking downtown Joplin. All right, let's go outside. So we have seen some clouds starting to increase in our western counties. We are going to get a little tick up of clouds throughout the overnight hours tonight. We have a weak wave that is going to pass to our north. This is going to produce some snow across south central parts of Iowa, northern parts of Missouri. All it's going to do for us, a few clouds, and then behind that system, it will cool us back down a bit as we go into Friday. And then our next storm system, which rolls in this weekend, starting to organize off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. All right, so let's go through the next couple days. Then we'll jump into the weekend. For us, by morning, mainly sitting upper 20s to near 30 degrees. Partly cloudy skies. Warmer day, a little windy, mid 40s by noon. I think most of us, 48 Parsons, 50 Miami, 47 Lamar, so looking a little bit better. Now, cold front drops through tomorrow night. We start to clear out by Friday morning, so a colder start on Friday down into the mid 20s and then only going up into lower 40s Friday afternoon. Very similar to what we did see today. All right, here's your day planner. 32 to start, 45 by noon. High temp right around 49 or 50 degrees. Let's move into the weekend. A lot of questions here. By tomorrow, as this storm system gets into the Pacific Northwest, our data will start to get better. If this system shifts a little farther north, we get all rain. If it shifts a little farther south, we get all ice and snow. We're probably going to fall somewhere in between. As of now, and again, this is going to be changing, freezing rain and sleet picking up Saturday afternoon, mainly north of Joplin. Rain increasing in the southern half of the region. As warmer air pumps into this system, a cold rain for about half of us, but freezing rain in our northern counties. Again, we got to see, does this shift up here or does this shift down here over the next couple days, or stay just how it is right now. Into Sunday morning, southern half rain, northern half sleet and snow. As the colder air filters in behind it, everybody should get a little quick dose of sleet and snow, but the heaviest amounts by far are going to stay to our north. So the biggest accumulations with this system, snow-wise, along the I-70 corridor. However, as we look at ice accumulations, southeastern Kansas into southwestern Missouri, and there could be some decent amounts of ice. So a lot to watch. Next couple days, we'll see how this shifts, if it goes north or south. All right, 49 on Thursday, 42 on Friday, mid-30s, mid to upper 30s over the weekend with rain, freezing rain, and snow, depending on where you live, and then turning sharply colder on Monday and Tuesday.
Well, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. That's where you get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. With Needle and Thread and Granby host its monthly Sit and Stitch, with today's gathering mirroring their first one last New Year's Day. The Sit and Stitch is a way for people to get into all kinds of textile art, from crocheting to cross stitch. People brought finger foods to the event and helped each other with their projects.
I think the sharing of ideas and I overhear conversations where people are teaching each other new things. It really kind of works out better than having classes. I have people, I just tell them, come on in to a Sit and Stitch. We have plenty of bossy people that will be happy to share their craft and get people going.
Well, some foods that people brought included black-eyed peas and brownies. Coming up in sports, multiple college football games kick off the new year. Plus, local football players are headed to the Kansas Shrine Bowl. Brock Baldridge has the details and more.
Dr. Larson has no recollection of the last 8
at 7 a.m. Well, it's a new year, which means a new roster is released for the Kansas Shrine Bowl. The 52nd edition of the game won't be played until June. However, 16 seniors from Southeast Kansas will head to Dodge City this summer to represent their school. The high school football all-star game features 88 football players from across the state of Kansas. 6 local players have been selected to play for the East squad in this summer's bowl game, including 2 coaches who were selected a month ago. Here's the full list of names who will be heading west this summer, starting with Humboldt QB Blake Ellis, along with Pitt State commit offensive lineman Luke Harris out of Fort Scott. That also includes Jace Midget from Columbus, the big tight end from Girard, that would be Scott Moore, Cade Small from Chanute, and Aaron Tunstall out of Field Kinley in Coffeyville. The game will be played at Dodge City's Memorial Stadium on June 21st. Well, the college football quarterfinal game, or playoff, has began on New Year's Eve and continues on to New Year's Day. Only 8 teams remain with a shot to win the national championship. Let's start with the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Arizona State faces the Texas Longhorns in Atlanta. We pick things up in the 4th quarter. Texas leads 24-16. Arizona State hands it off to Ken Scattaboo, who drives into the end zone. That's a touchdown. ASU decides to go for 2. Scattaboo with the ball again. That ties the game. Each team now has 24 points apiece. Texas has a chance to win this game in regulation. Here's Burt Auburn for the game-winning field goal, but is no good as it bounces off the upright, so we go to overtime. In the second overtime period, this game is tied up at 31. Texas doesn't waste any time. Quinn Ewers throws this deep to Gunnar Helm for the 25-yard touchdown. Longhorns take a 39-31 lead. Arizona State has a chance to answer right here. Sam Levitt, the quarterback, drops back, fires to the corner of the end zone, and it's intercepted by Texas, and this game is over. Sparky runs out of flames there at the end. Texas wins it 39-31 in double overtime. Another game going on today, the Rose Bowl game in Pasadena, California. Ohio State plays the top-ranked Oregon Ducks, who entered this game undefeated. But the Buckeyes build an early lead in this game, and they never look back. Ohio State beats Oregon 41-21. The Buckeyes will play the University of Texas Longhorns in the Cotton Bowl next weekend. Notre Dame was scheduled to play Georgia tonight at the All-State Sugar Bowl. However, due to recent attacks in New Orleans, the game has been postponed and rescheduled for tomorrow. Kickoff for that matchup is set for Thursday at 3 p.m. Obviously, with the high volume amount of people there, you want to make sure everything's good, everything's okay, because obviously there's a lot of people there for that bowl game. So hopefully everything turns out well.
I'm just curious what they're doing with the hotel situation.
Exactly.
To give people extra days, or how they're even handling
people maybe
that
a little bit displaced and things like that. So.
Yeah. Well, hopefully everyone that wants to go to the game gets to go safely, like you said.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. Thanks, Brock. We're back with more news after this. For millions of people, ringing in the new year means getting ready to start a slew of resolutions. But while many have the best intentions, a lot of folks will fall off track. Fox News correspondent Shanley Painter shows us strategies when it comes to cementing your new goals into your daily life.
The new year is a great time for a fresh start, but research finds most people abandon their resolutions by the second Friday in January. To help keep your goals from needing an emergency revival, psychologists recommend keeping them small.
Making them something that would fit into your day-to-day life so that you have a good chance for success.
If you're not sure where to start, consider embarking on new intentions and activities you're familiar with.
You want to pick something that's close to what you can do. So if you never have run a mile in your life, you're not going to commit to run a marathon this year. But you may commit to start walking 3 times a week for 15 minutes.
According to new data from the Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs Research, more than half of U.S. adults say they will make at least one resolution for 2025. The Nork data also found roughly 3 in 10 adults will make resolutions involving exercise or eating healthier. To help stay comfy when starting outdoor winter workouts, fitness experts advise dressing for the weather.
Wearing layers to kind of keep your body warm, also making sure to wear moisture-wicking clothing, especially on that first layer. We don't want that, the moisture of our sweat to kind of stick to us, because that can accelerate kind of heat loss and make us more susceptible to things like hypothermia.
Meanwhile, when it comes to excitement levels surrounding the new year, researchers say about 4 in 10 adults believe 2025 will be a better year for them. I'm Chanley Painter, Fox News.
And it'll be a better year for all of us. Coming up, the stars of Fox's hit comedy Animal Control share what's in store and talk behind the scenes as the series returns with season 3 tomorrow night. Fox's wild workplace comedy Animal Control is back. We spoke with the cast about the new season, jumping right back in with these characters, and how sometimes with the show, art imitates life. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
This is Truck 12. We're back on the giraffe.
The team of Fox's comedy Animal Control are back, and season 3 kicks off in a big way with all the animal antics.
There's a report of a gorilla at Overlook Park.
This episode starts with a zoo break, so it was kind of every animal thrown at you. So it was kind of it was just a whole embarrassment of.
It was a zoo.
It was an actual. Yeah. It was a zoo.
Joel McHale, Bella Lavelle, and Grace Palmer love returning to their characters.
It's good for a comedy to kind of to seed and to age a little bit, to get
fine wine.
See the rhythm of the show.
I think they also start writing really to us, and we've also all slowly become our characters. So it's like life and art is just kind of very hazy at this point. Like things that all of us actually do keep just popping up in the script. So I feel like at this point it's so easy and fun to just like jump right back in where we left off.
They say it's a collaborative process with the writers.
They're really receptive. Generally speaking, they're spot on and they get it right. And on the odd time that they don't, they're very open to us challenging it or asking if we could change something.
The actors even noted one surprisingly specific art imitating real life plot point.
There's a line coming up where I say something like, we're doing trivia and I say, oh, I know that book's a short book because I read it during a high school dance, during my prom or something. And I was like, that actually happened to me.
That's so cute. That's
so
funny.
sad. So sad.
And that's
You're
a
like
story
so
that
funny.
you just randomly shared?
No, I never said anything.
Oh,
that's what
it just happened to happen. Oh, it
The
just happened to
researchers are incredible.
Yeah.
They had someone go back to her high school.
Deep dives into our lives.
Everybody wins.
Animal Control returns January 2nd on Fox. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of goats at the Urban Collective in Chicago chowing down on some discarded Christmas trees. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.